Hello, hello. I am here. Let me move my webcam over just a little bit, so I'm kind of in the middle of the screen. There we go. Hello, happy Saturday. Oh no, it's Sunday. Sorry, happy Sunday. So as you guys come online, just type in and tell me where you're from and maybe what part of the world you live in, and if you have a residential cleaning business. So before we get started, I just wanted to share some stats with you guys because I, for a long time, was not really a Facebook person. And I guess maybe now I'm still not. But in preparation for today's presentation, I did some research and I found out some really interesting things. So 58% of the US population has an account on Facebook. I found that shocking. And even more shocking was that of the people who have a Facebook page, 76% of them use it daily, which I also found pretty amazing. Far more, the most frequently used of all the social media platforms is Facebook. And interestingly enough, most of the people that are on Facebook, there are more of the millennial people than there are senior citizens. In fact, the older people get, the less likely they are to be using Facebook. As far as users on Facebook, the gender gap is split fairly even, about half men and half women. But here's some interesting data. One, Facebook users are more likely to have at least some college education than the general population in the United States. And Facebook users also tend to have more money. So for example, you're welcome. So the adoption rate, the rate at which people are willing to adopt Facebook and have an account there, the highest group of Facebook adopters are the people who make $75,000 or more. And interestingly enough, in that income bracket, 76% of people, wait a minute, let me make sure I say that right. Let's see. Okay, I want to make sure I say this right. Sometimes statistics can be a little confusing. The broadest category of people that have Facebook accounts are people who make over $75,000. And within that $75,000 income bracket, 76% of those people actually have Facebook accounts. Facebook users on average spend a little more than a half an hour a day on Facebook, and they spend most of that time on mobile devices. Video is a really big deal on Facebook lately. And so is the messaging. And here's just a few more little facts that I want to share with you regarding Facebook as it relates to business. So decision makers in businesses are actually really big Facebook users. And I found that fans actually engage. Facebook fans leave more than 5 billion comments on Facebook pages. So a page would be your business page every month. But here's an interesting statistic that I really want you to think about. Only 56% of the people who have a Facebook page for their business include what I call a call to action. So I'm going to describe to you what that is and show you why you need to have that. And of the call to action buttons, the choices are, call, learn more, sign up, etc. Learn more is the one that is best, although sign up is the one that actually produces the most conversions. Conversions being where you get somebody to do the thing that you are asking them to do. So now that you have those interesting little data points, I'm going to jump right into our content. Oh, you know what? I had one more thing. I don't know if I'm gonna, actually, I'm gonna cover this other thing quickly here. This is something that I saw done in a Facebook group to which I belong. It's actually a bunch of network marketers, but I thought they made an interesting point, so I wanted to share it here with you guys. So you see this little pyramid that I have here. I want to take this pyramid and I'm going to use it in this example. It's going to stand for life. L, you know what? Actually, maybe let me do that over here. It's going to stand for L-I-F-E. Oh, you can't see that. Oh boy, I'm sorry. I guess maybe I should move this over a little bit. Okay, so here's my pyramid. And I want you to think of this pyramid as the pyramid of life. L-I-F-E. Okay? At the bottom level, so there's 4 levels. There's level 1, 2, 3, and 4. At this bottom level is the level of an entrepreneur, which is where most of us start out. But once we get that established, then we want to move to the next level, which is a life of freedom, where we have freedom of time, we have financial freedom, we have the freedom to choose who we want to work with, when we want to work, how we want to work. This next level, which is an even higher level, is where we start thinking about the impact that we want to have in our lives, in our communities, in our families. And then this 4th and really highest level is when you start thinking about legacy. What is the legacy that you want your life to be about? So as we're thinking about and talking about, things that we're doing in our businesses and ways that we're growing and building our businesses, I want you guys to sort of keep in mind why we're doing any of this. Okay, for me, it's not just about, making more money. I mean, it's like, I want to be moving up the pyramid. It's kind of like if you're familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. At a certain point after we get our basic, housing, food, money sort of needs met, then the things that we're focused on begins to move up. And so I was thinking about that because somebody was asking me, what is it that I love about coaching and why am I so passionate when I'm Facebooking with you guys? And that was what came to my mind. So let me get my notes here and let's start talking about. So I basically have 5 things that I'm going to share with you today. So the first one, which is pretty simple and straightforward. Let's see if I got, okay. This is your personal page. Actually, well, of course we're talking about Facebook. So I guess I don't really need to put that. Okay. So what I want you guys to do as I go through these 5 different points is I want you to type them in for me and for yourself, because, as you guys know, I found over time that as we learn, let me type this in. Okay, so number 1 is personal page. Personal Facebook page. Okay, so I want you guys all to type that in, because what I found is that as you're learning something, you're listening and you're watching, but if you write it down also, it cements it more in terms of learning. So everybody that's on, will you just type in for me, personal Facebook page? So that's the first thing that you need to have in order to begin to use some of these tools that I'm going to describe to you. So if you don't have a personal Facebook page, one of the things I had thought about doing today, and I just wasn't able to get the technical part of it to work, is I was going to show those of you who don't have a personal page how to do that. I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to give kind of an overview today of how to do all these things. And then if you guys want to, I'm going to ask you at the end of today's presentation if we want to take these 5 things and break them into maybe 5 different days and have a Facebook challenge. And I'll do one of these each day. So be thinking about if you want to do that or not. Okay, so the second tool that you can use, which is a little more sophisticated, but not really, but a lot of people don't have it, and I highly recommend that you also have a business page on Facebook. Okay, so let's type that in, a business Facebook page. So guys, type that in as number 2, and I'm curious, would you guys just type in yes? Those of you that are watching, if you already have a business Facebook page, I'd like you to tell me that. I would be interested in knowing that. Here's something else that you can use, and I'm going to tell you guys how to use all of these, don't worry. Something else that I think a lot of people are really missing out on. What about a Facebook group? That is the third tool that I think is very handy for you guys. So I'm going to type that in, a Facebook group. Group. Wow, my typing is so bad. I think it's because I'm kind of rushing. Okay, so you guys probably belong to some Facebook groups, but how many of you actually have a Facebook group that you're administering and managing? That's an excellent way for you to be able to connect with your ideal customers. So we're going to talk about that one. The fourth one is, this is kind of like a little tip. The fourth one is schedule posts. I don't know how many of you realize that you can actually schedule your Facebook posts in advance. I just sat down this morning and did all of my posts for the week for a private Facebook group that I have. It's actually not for my cleaning business. It's for my coaching clients. So let's put that one down. Number 4, tip number 4 that I want is schedule posts in advance. Okay, I want you guys to type that in. And then the final tip here that I'm going to give you, and this one kind of has parts A, B, C, and D, is join community groups. And that's what I'm going to spend a fair amount of time talking about today, because I have found that to be super handy. Let's see, can you guys see those that I wrote there on the board? Okay, so let's put in for number 5, join community groups. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about number 5. Oh, I guess, I thought I typed it in, but I guess I didn't. Okay, let me do that again. 5 is join community groups. Okay, so here are some of the kinds of groups that I'm going to tell you guys about where you can find your ideal customers. If you can find them based on the neighborhood in which they live. Like, for example, in Las Vegas, a lot of the communities have like neighborhood names. So we have names like Summerlin, TPC, Spanish Trail. Some of these are names of communities. Some of them are names of golf course communities or country club communities. So how many of you guys have something like that maybe in your area? And they probably have their own Facebook group. You could also look for things like what I call affinity groups. So maybe if you were in a sorority or a fraternity in college, you could type in the name of your city and the name of your sorority or fraternity, so like Las Vegas Deltas or Las Vegas Alphas, as a way to find other people in your community who would be more likely to do business with you because they have something in common with you. The same would also go for other sorts of high-end groups, like maybe like in Las Vegas, we have something called well, that's not a good example. That's kind of a business group. I'm trying to think of, oh, here's another one that interestingly enough is really, really popular, is other kinds of business groups. So things like promote your business, business classifieds. We have a Craigslist Facebook group here in Las Vegas. So I want you guys to start thinking about some community groups. There's a lady that I know, I worked with her for a while. She's Greek and she's a mom. And so, I mean, literally not like a fraternity, but like her family is from Greece. And so she mentioned to me that she was getting a lot of her clientele that were Greek moms. And apparently they had a Facebook group, and they lived in kind of a similar area. And they all, I don't know, would swap recipes and talk about different holiday plans and things that they had. So there are a ton of those. And a matter of fact, while I'm here with you guys, I'm going to look up some of the ones that I belong to. I'm going to look them up on my phone and share some of those with you, because I think that can be really useful. Bear with me here. I belong to a ton of them. Some of them are like garage sale type, but almost all of them are based on communities. So let me, and then I'm going to tell you guys what to actually do in the groups. Oh, you know what? This is only showing, oh no, let's see. This is only showing, I guess, the ones that I have listed. Oh, here it is, that I have listed as shortcuts. But here are some of the community groups that wow, I didn't realize I belonged to so many. Las Vegas, what is this? Pictorial history. Vegas Golden Knights, that's the hockey group here in Las Vegas. We have a new hockey team. Work from home in Las Vegas, I have. Swap and shop in Las Vegas. And then I have a lot of them that are based on different communities. So I have, let's see. Oh, you know what else I joined? I joined some other business groups. So I joined groups of other people who would be in a position to refer to me. So the people that do pool maintenance, landscape companies, what was the other one I just saw? Window washers, those kind of people, we're all talking to the same sorts of customers. So I have some pointers for you on what you want to do when you're in those groups, okay? I have, let's see, A, B, C, and D. So A is use graphics. It's really important that your posts are not just text. Text is not appealing to the eye. You want to have something that has some visual interest. So when you're posting in there, I want you to use some graphics. The other thing I would suggest is offer some specials. Now, I'm going to talk about this a little bit, because you guys know that I do not believe in discounting. I very rarely offer discounts. But here's what I have done sometimes, and it's worked out well for me. I'm going to scoot over so you guys can see what I'm putting. I guess there's a little bit of glare from my screen. I apologize. So the way that I offer specials, here's what I do. Let's say I have my schedule and for some reason I have a couple of openings. Let's say in the next week. Let's say I'm looking at next week's schedule and I see that Thursday and Friday and Saturday are not as busy as I would like them to be. So sometimes it's worth it to work for a little bit less money to get the kind of client that you want, especially because you have to think about the lifetime value of a client. So let's say, for example, that my normal charge for a 5-hour clean is $200. But I have this opening in my schedule. I have 2 openings on Thursday and 1 opening on Friday. And I want to make sure that I fill that time because it's important that I keep my worker busy. Let's say I have a certain amount of workers and I want to make sure that they don't get off early and, then they're dissatisfied that they didn't have a full day's worth of work. So frankly, sometimes it's worth it to me to fill that space at a discount just in order to have some work for my worker. And the other thing why it's sometimes worth it to me to offer what I call a special is because for every client that I get, there's a possibility that I'm going to turn them into a recurring customer. And even if I don't, even if it's a one-time clean, like a move, or, they're having company over, or they want a spring cleaning or something like that, they also have now been exposed to my product and they're likely to refer me to somebody else. So every additional client that I can add is beneficial to my business. So sometimes what I'll do on something like that is maybe instead of, insisting on the $200 that I would normally get, I would say I'm offering a 60% discount. Well, no, I wouldn't offer that much. Maybe I'd offer a 40% discount. So I would say that $200 service is going to be, let's say, $120, which sounds like an incredible deal to people. Now, at $120, I'm still making money. I'm not losing money. But sometimes it's worth it to get people excited. And what I found over the period that I've been doing this, where I've been offering these specials, I'm going to put this down. Generally, in order to get people's attention, it has to be 30% or more, 30% off. Okay? So that's one of the things that you want to do in these Facebook groups from time to time. The other thing that I found that works really well is gift cards and certificates. Okay? And again, this is a perfect time, guys, to be thinking about, if you don't offer gift certificates, you want to do that. There's a couple of software companies that I particularly like to recommend. I recommend either ZenMaid or Launch 27. I think if you tell them that you heard about them from Pam Washington at Build My Cleaning Business, I think both of them offer some kind of a discount to you. I don't get any commission. I don't make recommendations for commission. When they offer that to me, I say to them, what I'd rather have you do is give the people a discount. But I've used both of these and they're good, and I really like them. And they can make your ability to offer gift cards super simple. It's all online. It makes it very seamless. Okay. So what I found about gift cards is that gift cards are seasonal. And we are coming up upon one of the most popular times to do gift cards, which is Valentine's Day. Interestingly enough, it's not like a sexy gift. I wouldn't really think that people would be all that excited, but they are. So now is a great time to do gift cards. So I'm going to say Valentine's Day and also Mother's Day and Christmas. Those are the biggies for gift certificates. And again, sometimes what I do on gift certificates is I'll offer some kind of a package deal so that it feels like a discount. So I'll say something like, your $200 gift card gets you $250 worth of cleaning. So it's kind of like $50 free. But what I'm really doing is I'm pushing them to spend maybe more than they would have normally spent on something like that. And again, you're doing these in some of those community groups that we already talked about that I mentioned to you. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about as far as being in the group is that I want you to respond and engage. So if people like your post, make sure that you respond to them. Thank them for liking it. Like their like, ask them where they live, what were they thinking about, because the more comments you can get on your post, that will pull it up in terms of the feed so that it ranks higher and more people will see it. So you want to encourage people to engage. And there's one other thing that I actually hadn't thought about previously, and I don't know how I could have missed it, and I'm going to put it down right here. And this is actually not in the groups. This would be in your Facebook group and also on your, actually you could do it on all three of these, is contests. I've had a lot of success with contests. So for example, and again, what you want, because the more people are engaged in your post, the more traffic it will get. So you want to ask people to comment or contribute in some way. So sometimes what we've done is we've posted a picture and we'll ask people, what is the funniest caption that you would attach to this picture? We'll have like a funny picture. Like one time we had a picture of a little boy wearing his underwear, and he was like struggling to hold a mop, and we said, what caption would you have for this picture? And people said things like, oh my God, don't tell mom about the party that we had, or whatever. People were just trying to come up with funny little captions. But what we said was, so put your caption below and then tell your friends to vote for your caption. And whichever caption gets the most votes will win, $100 gift card for cleaning or something like that. So there's all sorts of contests that you can do. And again, you can do them on your personal page, on your business page, and on your Facebook, in your Facebook group, in order to encourage engagement and get people, to be liking your page and to inviting their friends to your page. So that is the content that I had for you guys today with regard to the free tools. But now I want to ask you a question. What I really wanted to do originally was I wanted to show you guys actually how to do some of this stuff. I wanted to show you how to schedule your posts in advance. I wanted to show you how to create a Facebook group and how to create a business page. So if that's something that you guys want, let me know in the comments. Maybe put down, so here's what I'm going to ask you. Would you like me to run a Facebook tools challenge? Okay, so if you want me, you guys have seen how I do the challenges where, it'll be like 5 days. So, we'll spend one day to do these two, one day on this one day on this one, and then one day on this one, doing all of these things. So again, each day we spend about 20 or 30 minutes, but what I really want to do if we do this as a challenge is I want to do a screen share. And I'm working on getting my technical ducks in a row so that you guys can actually see me on my webcam like this, so I'm live streaming. But you can also see me working on my desktop, so you can follow along, and I'm giving you like a tutorial on how to schedule posts. What I mean when I'm talking about using graphics, I can take you and show you some examples of ads that I've done that have worked for me. I can show you some contests that we've done that have worked for us. So if that's something that you guys would like to do, I don't know if I can do it next week. I was gonna do a Facebook challenge next week, but I'm not sure that I'm going to do it on this topic. I may do it on something else. But if that's something that you guys want me to do, put that in the comments. Just put Facebook challenge in the comments so I know that you want to do that. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys, and you know what? For some reason now, I don't know, I'm not seeing questions. I was gonna have a Q&A time, but I don't know. Now I'm not. They're not scrolling down. I'm not able to see them. The other thing I was going to tell you guys, I'm going to do a webinar this Wednesday. So let me put that down. Webinar is this Wednesday. I like to, kind of change it up in terms of how I deliver content. So sometimes I'll make a Facebook post. Sometimes I'll do a Facebook Live. Sometimes I do a challenge. I haven't done a webinar in a while, but I think they're fun. I like to do them because I can kind of prepare slides, and I have a bunch of stuff that I want to go over. It's going to be on the 4 essential core systems for a successful cleaning business. It's going to be in the evening, probably at like 6 p.m. And what's the date this Wednesday? Let's see, today's Sunday, 22, 23, 22, 23, 24. So that'll be January 24th. And later I will post a link here so you guys can sign up, okay? When it's a webinar, you have to sign up in advance for it. No big deal, but and I don't know why they do it that way. For some things lately, I've been using Zoom calls, which I really like because, we can all kind of see each other and we're kind of sitting around in a group talking, and I like that. But for the webinar, I like to use a platform called GoToWebinar, and it requires, sign up in advance, whatever. So that's that. Do you guys have questions? I'm not sure that I'm able to see the questions, to be honest. I tell you what, if you have questions, go ahead and type them in, and then when the Facebook Live ends, I will go in and answer the questions. And if we have to come back on to have a live, if they're in a lot of detail, then we can do that. But again, I just wanted to remind you guys that I'm going to be doing the webinar on Wednesday. And I also want to let you guys know that the Success Academy 2.0 is open. I see that there are some people here on this live that are in the Success Academy. I don't know if you guys have had a chance yet to look at that brand new dashboard that we have. It is amazing. It just pops. It's so well organized and so easy to use, and there's a bunch more content, and a lot of the content has been updated, but it's organized in a way where it's not overwhelming. So I'm really pleased about that. So if you've been thinking about coming to work with me, go to my website and look at Success Academy. Let me give you the link just to my website in general, and you can also go to my website and just look around at. I have lots of blog posts there, and some free stuff that you can download. So I'm going to wrap up for today. I don't know why I'm not able to see you guys' comments, but I just thought of a little trick, but that didn't work. I thought maybe if I could, oh yeah. Hang on, it looks like I can scroll. Hang on, oh no, I'm only able to, oh, there they are. Okay. So Tony's asking a question, a really good question, which is, should his personal and Facebook be linked? They can be linked, but it will kind of appeal to a different crowd. So for example, on your personal page, you can ask people, you can friend people. On a business page, you can't do that. But that's actually a positive too, because anybody can like your page. Whereas on your personal page, you have to accept whether or not they want to connect to you. So it's not a bad thing, but just like for those of you that are friends with me on Facebook, sometimes I will post on my personal Facebook page that I'm doing something like tonight. An hour before, I posted a reminder that I was doing this Facebook Live, because sometimes, you'll have friends or relatives who know other people that need your product or service. And so they are more likely to refer because, they know you on a personal level. So I recommend that you have both a personal page and a business page. And for those of you that, really use Facebook for your personal life, maybe you could have the one that you have now that is personal, that really is for your friends and your family and your relatives, and where you talk about your vacation and you share pictures of your kids and things like that. But you could have another one that appears to be personal, but it's like personal business. So for example, my legal name is Pamela. So on my Facebook page that is Pamela Washington, I actually use that as a quasi-business page. I could have another Facebook page for Pam Washington, which is how most people who know me personally actually know me. People that know me call me Pam. So if they were looking for me, and they would, so I could keep Pam, as just my family, my relatives, my true friends. And then I could have Pamela, and Pamela could be sort of like a combination of business and personal page. So that's kind of one of the ways. Yeah. So one of the things that you would do in order to get people to like your business page, you can invite all of your friends to like the business page, but I don't know that you necessarily want to do that. That would be one of the things that we can talk about in the challenge. But in general, I guess the short answer to that is that you need to post things. So if we do the challenge, I'll take you guys over to my business page. I have two. I have one for my janitorial company, which is A1 Janitorial, which has some friends, not many. And then I also have a Facebook page for my residential cleaning business, which is called Fast, Friendly, Spotless Maid Service. We haven't been doing a lot with that lately, although we used to. But there are some little tips and tricks and things that you can do, like scheduling regular posts, running specials, doing contests, doing blog posts, having ads and things like that. That's one of the ways. You can also sometimes do a very, very modest boost on your post, like you can boost for I think as little as $3 or $4, and you can categorize who you want it to be boosted to. So you can set some demographics around people that live within a certain, a square mile radius of your business, that are of a certain age, that have expressed an interest in a certain topics. It can be based on their income levels, etc. Now that is actually not free, so I wasn't really going to talk a lot about it, but you can do it for super cheap. And if you guys want to do a Facebook challenge, a challenge all about, in a little bit more detail where I'd actually walk you guys through how to do some of these things, then type that in here, put in, yes to Facebook challenge, and I'll schedule that in the next little bit. Okay, so that is it for today. I like to keep these short and sweet, so I will see you hopefully on Wednesday for the webinar. Bye for now.